What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a little training session with my main man Pickles here. Now, I'm constantly producing content not only for you guys but for my clients as well. I love giving them videos to fall back on, so that this video is going to be here forever. They can click on this video as a reminder if they ever feel like they forget some of the stuff I teach them, because that tends to happen. My clients come back a couple times throughout the course of any of my programs, because I got to teach them how to be the dog trainer. But it ends up being quite a bit of information, even though none of it is really like brain bursting. But it's one of those things where you don't know until you know. And like, how would you know if you're utilizing an e-collar correctly unless somebody took you through it, right? The way that I explain the e-collar is so simplified. But in the same breath, it's an extremely versatile tool. However, I break it down in the simplest of ways so that it's easy for my people to understand, and they get everything that they want and need out of the situation. And of course, when we're talking about the e-collar, we're talking about introducing it in the fairest and most appropriate and effective way possible. Now, I will say one of the mistakes people make in reference to just chucking one of these on and going is doing just that. Like, if you don't know the basic fundamentals of how to condition an e-collar to a dog in a fair, effective, and appropriate way, you just wouldn't know how to do it unless someone explained it to you. I think I already said that. So in today's video, we're going to be introducing an invisible leash to my man, amongst other things. He loves playing ball. He absolutely loves playing ball. And so we're going to use that. Hey, go get the bird. Good boy. We're going to use that. Okay, one of my main points of emphasis when I'm talking about the e-collar in reference to, the introduction of the e-collar is to teach it to be the gas pedal before teaching it to be the brakes. Does that make sense to you guys? Let me break that down. Gas pedal is, from the dog's perspective, yes, I want to follow that pressure. I like that pressure because I know there's something in it for me. So we're utilizing the teaching of the gas pedal at the dog's working level, which is the level on this particular system of which the dog first starts to feel it. Now, if you're wondering what system this is the micro educator. It's the smallest box you can possibly get for a relatively medium-sized dog. It's going to give you everything that you could possibly need. E-collar Technologies. That's what it's by E-collar Technologies. I've been a part of their program for years and years and years. I get a small discount on them, just a small one, just enough to keep me coming back, I guess. But it's the most, in my opinion, user-friendly system, but keeping it's good, like it's quality, right? User-friendly and quality. You can get e-collars anywhere, but the fact of the matter is, if you're buying a cheap one, you're going to have less versatility within the tool. The levels aren't going to be as exact, right? So like on a cheap e-collar, it goes from 1 to 6, and the jump from 1 to 2 is massive. This particular one goes from 0 to 100 by the number. So you're able to really dial in a very specific number, and that way you're not over or under correcting the dog or giving information, whatever the case may be. You can use you could use the e-collar without necessarily correcting the dog, right? You can use it to pair up with your obedience commands, right? So if I ask him to sit, it's more along the lines of like a working level, and it just sort of expedites behavior. And some people will try to argue, it's because it hurts them. They're just bubblegum Nerf ballers that don't really want to understand how this actually works. I love dogs. I've never hurt a dog. Okay, so if I'm using this, you have to believe that I don't believe, in my heart of hearts, that this is actually hurting the dog. Now, can you hurt a dog with this shit? Of course, if you're a dickhead and you don't know what you're doing and you're using it inappropriately. That's why we talk about appropriate, teachings. But in any case, this is going to be a godsend for my people because they just want to be able to communicate to this guy when they don't have an actual leash on him. So that's why they refer to this as the invisible leash. To turn it on, it's this little button right here. You press and hold, it'll turn on. Okay, you've got the remote, right? And then you've got C and M on the side of the number. C stands for continuous, M stands for momentary. This little button right here is going to take us over to just the M So all you have access to is just a nick. You can't press and hold the button and continue to apply pressure. It's just a nick. I like to put it over to the C, okay? It's gonna make a noise. Now it's on continuous pressure. So now, if I press the button and hold, the pressure's on until I let it off. And you're gonna see specific situations where that could actually be very beneficial. But I also have access to, if I just tap it, I also have the nick. So I have the best of both worlds. I don't have to worry about switching back and forth. It stays on the C. Problem solved. Don't have to worry anymore about that. All right. To turn the receiver on, there's a little red dot here on the remote. There's a little red dot here on the receiver, and you just go like that, and now it's off. And you pair it up together, and now it's back on. Okay, that's it. Super easy, super simple, user-friendly, like I was saying. So we're gonna get him over here, and the next thing we're gonna talk about is how important it is to have it on effectively. Where do I have it on the dog? All right, let me just move this down. This is gonna end up being a relatively long video. All right, but it's a video that must be done. So we bring the dog over here. Now he has a prong collar on as well, which we won't get into that since we're talking about the e-collar. I have plenty of prong collar videos, but the prong collar is always going to go above the come here, bud, above the e-collar. E-collar is always going to go below the prong collar. Prong collar is always at the highest point of the neck. Okay, so you have to make sure that this thing is on tight enough to where the touch points are actually touching. Okay, so while it may seem like it's on too tight, as long as the dog isn't struggling to breathe and you could tell the dog is breathing fine, it's not too tight. All right, it's not affecting the esophagus or the airways in the least. It has to be on tight, otherwise you're not going like tight. I would say tight enough. The touch points have to be not just resting on the skin, they have to be going in just a little bit, okay? Otherwise you don't get an accurate read on your remote, and that just defeats the entire purpose of the tool, okay? You want to know what level is what, and without it being fitted appropriately, then you'll never know. Does that make sense? Okay, so now the next thing is where we're doing this is up in my arena here. Southern California, absolutely beautiful day. Nothing else happening, okay? He's gonna feel this and he's gonna know that it's coming from me. Why? Well, because we're doing this in an environment where he can't get confused as to where it's coming from. There's literally nothing else happening here. There's nothing around that it could be coming from. You don't want to do this process where there's a bunch of fucking competing motivators and dogs and people, because he may not exactly know where this is coming from. Okay? So the next bit is finding his working level. When does he start to feel this? Okay, and there's only one button on this remote that you'll ever have to worry about pressing. Okay, it's this black button right above the red button. If you press the red button, it'll go from a level 5 to a 10 in an instant. So it's like a zip. Now I don't find a use for that, because the way that I hold this is I've got my index and my thumb on the nozzle that goes up and down. So if I need to go up, I'll just turn it to the right. If I need to go down, I'll turn it to the left. Now this is something that you're going to get used to doing, you know, because you're going to be practicing with this more and more and more. So at first what you're going to probably do is constantly look down at the levels, but when you get a feel for this thing, you know how big of a turn you need to go to communicate to your dog in any specific environment or situation that you're in. Okay, in this particular environment with limited distractions, there's not any higher level stimulant. There's no competing motivators. The dog is going to remain in whatever, however they're feeling, which is like right here. There's nothing around to like jack them up. So you're not going to probably have to turn this up. Okay. And you're going to notice that at level 5, let's say, for example, if a level 5 is his working level, a level 5 might not get through to him in the event that you're at a park and there's a bunch of shit going on. Okay. You're going to want to go a little bit above where he's at to get through to him, because a level 5 just might not be enough. Okay, and I'm always looking for whatever is enough for the specific dog. The dog is the one that determines what the levels are. Does that make sense? I know that makes sense, because this is the fair and appropriate fucking conversation that I said that we're going to be having when it comes to introducing this tool. All right, so The next thing is figuring out when he starts to feel it. So I'm going to bring him over here and I'm going to put the leash on him in case he tries to run away from me. And then I'm going to step on the leash. Come here, Bumpus. Hey. Yes, you're a good boy. Little piece of food. Lure him over here. Sit. Good. Give him a little piece. Pop this on. I'll just put it on his flat collar for now. I love it. Flat collar, e-collar, prong collar. Okay? Flat collar, e-collar, prong collar. That's the order that this is always going to be in. So I'm going to tap it. Cool. I think you might have felt that. Sit. Good. Get this leash sorted out here. Tap. Give him a piece of food. Now, I'm not 100% confirming that he's feeling it yet, but I want to give him, this is level 5, mind you. This goes to 100, keep that in mind. I'm looking for an ear flutter. Okay, still no indication. I'm going to tighten it up just a little bit more because it felt like it was a little loose. Again, you're not going to get a response from him if it wasn't on tight enough. Okay? We should be getting a response. Come here. Good. Okay, here. Good. So something in it for him. Working level, tap it, he gets paid. Okay? Tap it. Okay, ear twitch when I pressed it. Ready? Boom. Head moves. Eye flutter. Ear twitch. Good. Good boy. Good. Good. Hey, sit. Yes. Good boy. All right. Sit. Oh yeah, I saw his eyes move. Now you can't see that, but I know that he's now feeling that at a level 6. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna dial that in. And just for the time being, I'm gonna press down on that button and it's gonna lock it in at a level 7. All right, we're gonna keep it at a level 7 and we're gonna go straight into one of the drills I like to do. Pickles here. Nice. Good. All right, so we got a long line on him. We get him going in the opposite direction. Pickles here. Yes. I tap it, he feels it, he gets paid. Pickles here. Yes. Okay. Do you see how this is teaching it to be gas pedal before brakes? Positive association to start off with. He feels the sensation. He performs a behavior. Pickles here. And then he gets paid. Okay? So this is introducing it with positive reinforcement. Pickles here. Yes. Sit. Yes. Good. So I'm also going to be tapping the button when I give him obedience commands. Pickles here. Tapped it. Pickles here. Sit. Yes. And when I mark it with yes, I don't press the button. Okay? Yes is just a terminal release marker for you did the damn thing. Come get your food. Pickles here. Yes. Pickles sit. Yes. Good boy. So that's it. I don't know. I feel like I can talk a little bit more about this, but Pickles here. I'll tap it multiple times from over there. Pickles here. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. Oh, going back to continuous. Let's say, for example, I ask him to come here. Pickles here. Yes. So he's doing a good job right now, so I'm not going to press and hold. But let's say, for example, he ignores. I would tap and hold until he made the right choice, and then I let it go. So it's pressure on until it's off. Okay, now you see that I'm rewarding him with food as a result of performing the behavior, but a secondary form of reward to the dog is when the pressure comes off, because it's quite nice when the pressure comes off. It's like a reward. So it's a very clearly painted Mona Lisa for the dog when you're utilizing it in this format. Okay, and I'm so glad I made this video, because now all I got to do is send this to my people, in which I'm going to be here in just a couple of minutes. And again, if they are unclear about this after they come and work with me, they can watch this video and go straight back to work. Now, speaking of go straight back to work, all I could say to anybody watching this video right now in reference to your dog and their training, first thing is that no two dogs are the same. Dogs technically learn the same through patterns and repetitions and associations, but they don't all learn the same in reference to how long it takes to achieve your specific goals, okay? In my opinion, some dogs learn better than others, okay? Some dogs take longer to sort it out, and I think if there's one way that we can compare humans to dogs, it's just that. Not all kids learn the same, man. That's why the cookie cutter school system isn't good for all the kids. Maybe some kids, okay, but there's always those outcasts, those underdogs that, you know, like me, like I'm not an unintelligent person, but I didn't do well in school. Does that make sense? I needed like a specific form. I needed something else. I needed like a more fun way to learn, like, and shit like that. So, you know, it's not all, there's a gray area, man. It's not all like it's not cookie cutter shit, man. You know, and that's one thing dogs have taught me is like sometimes I got to think outside the box. You know, with going back to the dog thing, like the specific dog, man, the dog is usually going to tell me what might work and what might not work. Okay, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bring me a bird. We can utilize a secondary motivator. I was using food a second ago. Here, sit. Yes. So you can use, since he loves the ball, and again, going back to my point I was just making, not all dogs give a shit about toys, bro. They just don't. But if they do, use whatever you can that's gonna jack your dog up and be excited to work. All we're doing is layering in another form of communication on top of, you know, you see what I'm saying? We're just layering this in, and we're utilizing the same reward system that we would be utilizing even if we weren't using an e-collar. But we're using that motivation to further reinforce that this isn't such a bad sensation to feel. There's something in it for you. All right, now past this, after the dog's been conditioned to this and he's doing really well in reference to, you know, the obedience and everything else, after we've introduced it to him in this way, we could then consider using it for the brakes, okay? Gas pedal before the brakes. That's literally the main point of emphasis. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a thumbs up. Guys, just to let you know, people out there are charging a lot of money to teach you this basic principle. A lot of money. I charge a lot of money. Now, granted, this might be beneficial. You might be able to take this information and go fucking rock and roll yourself. And I used to think, oh, well, if I post this type of content, then people won't come to me for training. It doesn't work that way, because this is the best option. To come to me, to let me get things started for you, to work with me in person, nothing is gonna replicate that. And there's always gonna be people that do better with that in-person shit versus someone like me. I could watch some shit and I can do it, but not everybody's like me. So anyway, hope you guys got something out of it. I'm Captain Chad. This is my main man, Pickles. Yes! And we're out here fucking partying and we're learning at the same time, and that's basically what my whole entire shit is about. Have a good time, but what I need you to dial in, that's what's gonna happen, okay? Woo. Peace.